What does being an artist mean to you? What does being an artist look like? Is it a game designer? Is it a sidewalk chalker? Maybe a ballerina perfecting her next steps? Or a fashion designer working on the newest magazine spread? Do you picture a doggy costume designer or a musician playing in the park? Maybe you picture a photographer, or maybe the makeup artist behind the lens. Maybe you even picture an interior designer. I'm Juju Magic, and this is my job. I like to make art, a lot of art, and a lot of different kinds of art. I always liked making things, so I started out making mud pies and mud cups in my yard. Then I got to go to school, and I got to learn a lot of amazing things. I also had some really wonderful teachers to help me become a professional artist, so I could do it for the rest of my life. I was super lucky to have the coolest art teacher when I was in high school. She was not only a great art teacher, but she was patient with all of us. Even though we were running around her classroom with clay, markers, pencils, and the occasional sharp object, she recruited a group of her students to help her with her summer programs. I was one of the lucky ones. We were the Rodale's Rembrandts, and she taught us not only art, but the love of learning. Today, I am a professional visual artist. Visual just means to view as opposed to other mediums such as music. I sell my art in galleries, showrooms, online shops, even Facebook. I work in what we call mixed media, which means I use anything I can think of to make my art. Sometimes I like to use brushes and paint for my art, but I also like to use different objects in my paintings, sometimes even light. I also really like to sculpt, and if I'm really trying to have fun with it, sometimes I'll even make funny videos with the things that I sculpt. This is The Perils of Pearl. This is a stop motion film that's created just by taking a series of pictures, and when you put them all together, it looks like a movie. Anyone can really do it. But when I'm not making funny videos, I also really like to draw with pencils, but it can take a while. Often, people who like to draw end up becoming illustrators. Illustrators are artists who work with two-dimensional images. They can work as fashion designers, or they can create children's books and stories. Sometimes they work on medical manuals, and sometimes they even design cars. Illustrators are very skilled artists with an eye for detail and self-motivation. They're usually working on a deadline for their illustrations. Kind of like handing in homework, it really cannot be late. Dallas is also a great place to be an interior designer. Interior designers are really good communicators. They need to understand what different people would like. They are very creative, and they use color, shapes, textures, and styles to develop designs that look great. They often use computers to help their clients visualize their ideas, and they use their math skills to decide budgets for each new project. After I got married, I moved here to Dallas with my husband, whose career is actually in computer programming. I took some time off from my art for a while to become a surgical assistant for a facial and oral surgeon. A facial and oral surgeon works with the mouth, teeth, and the face. Kind of like this guy. I have 2 kids who have grown up and now have their own art careers. My son is a video game designer. Game designers do most of their work on computers. They make storylines, plots, maps, characters, and even animation. My daughter is a fashion model and makeup artist. Makeup artists can use brushes and tools to achieve tons of different effects. They can be beauty practitioners, or they can create custom looks for movies, actors, and news anchors. Sometimes they even have their own YouTube channels. Because I had so much fun working in the dental arts with doctors, my first new project was teeth sculptures. They're really characters. I get to make up stories about them that make people like them even a little bit more. I also really love science and chemistry, so I love getting to experiment with materials for my characters. I get to combine chemistry and art by mixing and measuring materials to study the reactions for the best outcomes. Sometimes I do make mistakes and have to start over, but I don't mind mistakes because that's how I learn best. I cast my characters with concrete, stone, plastic, and resin. All of these materials have special properties that I have had to study and learn how to work with. My favorite new characters are Jiggles and Flip. They're sorta TikTok famous.
Yeah, I don't wanna fall asleep.
I made each clay original using the exact same type of clay invented by Walt E. Disney himself. Then I make sure to give a nice bubble-free silicone mold for my character by filling it up full of silicone and letting it dry. Next, it's time to perform surgery on the mold so that we can get the clay original out. After that, it's time to fill the mold with a super strong hydrostone to make a casting that will last. Tap, tap, tap those bubbles away. After one more surgery, it's time to pull out our castings and then bring them to life with a little paint. I mean, look at them. How could they not be TikTok famous? Once my friends are done and all my orders are shipped out, it's time for me to sit back and wait for my next project inspiration. I really hope learning a little bit about my career as an artist and all the others that you get to learn about today can inspire you to think about what career you would like to have. You really can do anything you think of if you are willing to work hard, spend time, learn, and love. My name is Juju Magic and I'm a visual artist. What kind of artist are you? If you want to see more of Jiggles and Flip, be sure to follow me on TikTok and make sure you visit www.theartstudio.com.